Good morning, Faribault. We hope everyone's off to a great start to your Thursday. My name is Mr. Sage, and today we are absolutely honored joining you with Admin Chat to have two really great guys here in our district to talk to us about the upcoming operating levy. We got high school principal Jamie Venti.
Good morning.
And our superintendent, Mr. Todd Sesker.
Good morning.
Yeah, so we've been promoting this here for a couple weeks, and we've had a lot of questions come in wondering more information. People are wanting more information on our operating levy. So Todd and Jamie have been very kind and welcomed, offered to join us here to answer any questions that you may have. So we're going to start off today by kind of asking them a few questions. But if you're watching live and anything comes up that you want to throw at these two guys, please feel free to do that. So Todd, maybe we'll start with you here. And first question is, tell us about this vote on November 5th. What are we voting for? What does it mean to the Faribault community?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks for doing this live broadcast. I haven't done this before, so we'll see how this all goes. I'm just going to give you a message that we've been talking to folks about, and I'm going to read it right now because I haven't rehearsed it enough. So, Faribault Public Schools strives to promote pathways to excellence for all students. Providing flexible educational opportunity leads to better attendance, higher graduation rates, and more academic choices. Approval of both questions for this operating levy will allow Faribault Public Schools to offer a 7-period day at the high school, reduce the transportation radius from 2 miles to 1 mile at the high school. This will provide transportation to over 170 students and provide opportunities for Faribault Public Schools to create and innovate pathways to excellence. Community support for this operating levy will improve the quality of education for Faribault Public School students. As a reflection of our district, Faribault Public Schools is an important contributor to this community. So a couple of things just to summarize real briefly what that all means is that on November 5th, there will be 2 questions on the ballot. The first question is providing the high school with a 7-period day if it's approved, and that will generate more teachers to offer more electives. We have to make sure that the teachers we hire are licensed in those specific areas. And it also provides the resources for those teachers to be successful in the classroom. The second question focuses on graduation rates. We really want to improve our graduation rates. We heard that loud and clear from our community.
Sure.
And one way to do that is to get the kids in school. We really believe, and there's research to support this too, and a lot of common sense. If we can get kids to school in class, they are more likely to be successful and appreciate their education and more likely to graduate. So by reducing the 2-mile radius from at the high school down to 1 mile, we can actually provide quite a bit of transportation for kids. One example that we have is we have a family that lives up by the viaduct by the Quick Trip. And yeah, that's a long ways away. And if they have a 9th grader that is in their family, they are required to walk. And if they have younger kids, they can go ahead and ride the bus. But you can imagine this past winter was very interesting to say the least. It was brutal. Yep. I got a lot of phone calls from parents, and a lot of those kids just didn't come to school. So not all of them, the parents were able to reach a lot of those kids, but a lot of them didn't come to school. So we think that providing transportation is going to be a big changer for us. The second question also helps us to improve some of the academic programs that we have.
Sure.
One of the great programs that, Joe, you've been involved in has been the 9th Grade Academy. I know both you and Jamie have talked about that a lot, and Sean. It's just been outstanding for our kids. And we want to continue innovating and adding some of these great programs for our kids. We took a community survey, post-survey, and we looked at the financial impact of what we believe taxpayers can afford. We tried to keep the levy. The school board really wanted to keep the levy under $100, and by providing, if both questions pass, then we can stay underneath that dollar amount. So the first question deals with the 7-period day and offering that to kids, and I'll let Jamie explain all the advantages of a 7-period day here in a second. That amount is $65 per year for an average house, or a business that's worth $175,000, or a farm, and we don't tax the entire acreage on the farm. It's just the 1 acre, the house and the garage. And so if that's valued at $175,000, then that first question will cost taxpayers, will cost this particular taxpayer $65 a year.
65 a year.
65 a year. Yep. That's the first question. The second question, which deals with the transportation and the creating of education excellence programs, will cost us $34 per year.
34.
Yep. So a total of both questions passed would be $99 a year for an average home. The farm with a 1 acre, and then also any business that's valued at $175,000. There's a lot more information online. We also have a lot of brochures that are out in schools stating the facts. That's what we do right here. We state the facts. We're not trying to persuade anybody. We just want to make sure that everybody understands what this levy means.
Sure.
So I've talked enough.
Yeah, well, and as you were talking here, Todd, I took some notes here, and I think one of the big things people are interested in is a 7-period day. Jamie, you're the high school principal. You do a lot with curriculum. You're putting all of this stuff in place. You've been a part of this conversation now for some time. From your perspective, what are the impacts of a 7-period day on the high school and the teachers, and most importantly, Jamie, the students?
Yeah, so moving to a 7-period day is a real game changer, especially for our students. It puts us more on equal footing with every other school in the Big Nine and really every other school in the state at this point. The 6-period day is just so limiting in what we can do. So Todd talked about pathways. He talked about 9th grade academy. These are all things that we can do more of if we have a 7-period day. It's more opportunities for students. Just by adding that extra period, they're able to take 8 additional courses over their high school career.
Right.
So they're adding a lot more pieces to it. It allows these students to be able to, students that now can't get into our CTE courses, into our Woods courses, into our welding courses, will have access to be able to open that area as well to them. And also for us to get our students more of these, what we call real world experiences. Get them out there, especially their junior and senior year, working in the community in fields that they think they might be interested in. Because the last thing we want, and the research shows, if you're going to go to college and you know what you're going to go to college for, you save yourself anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000.
Really?
Yeah. College is so expensive you can't afford to go there and find yourself anymore. Right. So if we can get them, out there and graduating from high school, knowing what they're interested in, or at least what I say, knowing what they're not interested in doing, we're really servicing them for their future.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and one of the things that we really looked at was what do other high schools in the Big Nine have that we don't have? Mm-hmm. And one of those things that Jamie just said was they don't have a 6-period day like we do. It puts us at a huge advantage. We believe that a 7-period day makes our students more competitive out in the real world, gives them better qualifications to go to college and all those different things. The analogy I use is I have student A and student B. And student A is on track in those vocational programs, and they do very well. They do very well in the wood shop, in the small engines, our welding. We've got great instructors down there, but we never really get them to go, a lot of times, not all, into those other higher academic courses. And likewise, when we have our AP kids who are taking calculus, AP biology, all those government courses and things like that, if they ever want to be an engineer, we really feel that it would be very valuable for them to have some hands-on experiences. So by offering that 7-period day, we offer more electives for kids. Sure. We could offer more vocational classes, so those AP kids could actually cross over into those vocational areas, get rid of those silos for those AP kids, and actually teach them how to turn a screwdriver.
Right.
Hit it. I'm being obviously exaggerating a little bit, but they have to have those hands-on experiences if they want to be an engineer.
Exactly.
It makes no sense to me at all if somebody wants to be a mechanical engineer to go through our program, our AP program, and not have any of those skills.
Exactly.
Likewise, those kids in those vocational programs, we want them to have some of those other educational opportunities too. We want them to have some of those higher math and higher science skills. So we get those kids to cross. I think it's just going to make our school a better place.
Well, and whoever wants to answer this one, you think about schooling now and kind of how it's changing. We've talked about this. We want our kids to have these real world experiences. Do you think that there's going to be some opportunity if this were to pass to partner with industry and get some of the industry in our high school doing some work with our kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just Monday night spent an hour with an industry council that Ryan Kreminger, our director of teaching and learning, is starting up. And they're begging for our kids to be out there.
Mhm.
I mean, they're begging for workers, they're begging for skilled labor, and we want to provide that because some of these jobs the pay is absolutely amazing for a student coming fresh out of high school.
Sure.
When you can come out of high school and make upwards of $20+ an hour,
Right.
If you have the right skills, our job is to get them those right skills so that they can be successful in their life after high school.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Before we close out for today, I want to give you guys an opportunity. Is there anything else you want to add before we?
Well, yeah, if you have questions, you can either certainly do this on the Facebook and we can answer them later for you.
Mhm.
Another way you could do it the old-fashioned way. You can give me a phone call. Feel free to call me at 507-333-6016. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions too. But no, this has been a great way to get that message out, to talk to people about really these, I would say, these big game changers, these 2 questions that could really help our community out.
Yeah, it would be an incredible opportunity for our school district. And as Mr. Sesker said here, if you have any questions on the operating levy, please do not hesitate to give them a call, send them an email. That goes for either one of them. They'll get back to you very quickly. That will do it for us here today with Admin Chat. As always, if you have questions or if you're just watching the video later and something pops up, we'll make sure that Mr. Sesker and Mr. Venti are checking out the comments here and can answer any questions that may arise. Until next time, we are Faribault.